Hi Grade 1 2, welcome to Art This Week. Now we have been looking a lot at surrealism in our artwork. And if you can't remember what surrealism is, we need to go back and look at some of those videos that I've put together. But surrealism is when we make an artwork that doesn't make sense, as in it's not something that will happen in the everyday world. So maybe it is pairing two things that don't belong together. Maybe it is representing something that was in a dream of ours or way back locked in our head that doesn't look anything like everyday life. So today we're going to be looking at something a little different called abstract art. Abstract art are artworks that do not attempt to recognize reality, but instead use shapes, colors, forms, and textures to achieve their effect. So, for example, an artist might decide to express their thoughts and feelings through a collection of shapes, lines, and colors, rather than representing a picture of something that you might see in everyday life. I'm going to show you some examples now of very famous abstract art, and I want you to have a look at how the artist has used lines, shapes, and colors to express themselves. So, knowing what we know about abstract art and how it's a collection of colours, shapes and lines, you need to find an old bit of cardboard. So maybe it's an old cereal box, maybe it's anything that you can ask your parents in a recycling bin, and you need some scissors, glue, you need a crayon or a pastel or something like that, and you need a texter. And what we are learning about is a collagraph print or a collagraph rubbing. A collagraph is a basic method of printing using a board or flat surface with collage materials glued onto it to form different textures. I'm going to show you some examples of collagraphs. So to start with, what I want you to do on top of cardboard is I want you to draw a whole lot of different shapes because we're making an abstract artwork. So these shapes need to be able to be cut out. So you need to cut around these shapes, and we're going to be gluing them onto a base bit of paper or cardboard. So I need you to go ahead and draw as many shapes as you can that you can cut out. Don't make them too hard because you need to be able to cut them. And then we're going to come back together with all of our shapes. Okay, grade 1, 2, I've cut out a whole lot of different shapes, and it doesn't matter if they don't make sense because we're looking at abstract art. So I've layered some on top of each other because remember we're rubbing, and now what I need to do, it doesn't matter if it's the right side or wrong side up, but I'm going to start gluing all of these down. Now once you glue them down, you need to walk away and wait for it to dry completely. That's super important. You can glue these on a bit of paper or a bit of cardboard. So I'm going to go and stick mine down. What you need to do, grade 1, 2, is get another piece of paper, and now my pieces are all glued on, they're not going anywhere. You are going to place this on top. Now this project will work best if you use crayons without their wrappers, and you will be drawing over the top, pushing quite heavily down on the page. Not like this, you're not using the very tip, you're using it flat and moving it across the page. Textures won't work. I'm going to do a sample over here of texture. Pencils will work, you just have to press even harder and it takes longer. Crayons produce a nice quick result which look great. So what we're doing is we're pushing down with our colouring tools, and what should happen is that we will create a print of our abstract design underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and start with crayon. You can see the wonderful patterns that have been printed. You can see the underneath there. They're exactly the same. We've got this eye here and that's printed here. Lovely big swirl. And that's using crayons where I've rubbed across my page pushing down. Over here I have pencil and I'm scribbling in one direction, and you can see that my patterns have shown up. Not quite as good as the crayons, and down here is texture. I've got all these wonderful spikes underneath, but I can't see anything. So this is an example how when we use different tools to colour in, we can achieve different results, okay? So if you have crayons, it will produce a wonderful, beautiful print. Here's another one. I loved doing it so much. Here's another example. I changed colours as I went, but make sure we're not using texture. Only use pencil if that's all you have left. Here's another sample of my pencil. This one shows up nicely. You can see the eye here and my swirl from underneath my page. Okay, once you are done with your Collagraph abstract print, I would love you to put a picture up on Google Classroom, and I can't wait to see. See ya. Bye.